So I'm just going to put my hands up now and say that creating my own content for my own channel has been a bit of a struggle recently. Of course, I had to prioritise the videos that I was producing as part of my internship, and also the videos that I was producing outside of my internship, other people, other companies, like my Bacardi series. You know, these projects were a bit more time sensitive, they had deadlines to meet, so I just had to make sure that those got sorted first. That being said, I have now officially finished my internship at the University of Manchester. 8 weeks have flown by, but I couldn't leave my own internship series as it was. And as promised, just before I left, I got myself, my supervisor and some of my colleagues from the career service to put together a little questions, answers and advice video. So, you know, whether you're a student, a graduate, or just generally curious about internships, I hope that there's something in this one that can help you.
Students should really consider internship roles because it gives them the work experience. Many companies are now requiring students to have work experience as well as degrees. So having internship experience, it does put them ahead of the field a little bit. It also offers them some paid work throughout their study that can support them, and it allows them to experience what it's like inside an office environment, building up teamwork, working to deadlines, working on small projects, and then the students can use those examples at interview with a graduate job. Also, we find that employers might invite the intern back for a graduate position at the end of it as well. So some companies do use internships as a try before you buy almost, and that works both sides. You know, we might have an intern and a student who goes into a company and they think, actually that wasn't for me, I didn't want to work in that particular organisation, I didn't want to work on those kind of tasks, I don't want to sit at a desk all day, I want to have a job that I move around in, or vice versa. So it really does help give you a wide, broad view of what working in a particular company is like.
The ideal reason is to get some experience in the field that they want to go into, but what if you don't know which field you want to go into? And there you're looking to prove yourself, and you could do that lots of different ways, but you could do that in the workplace. You can actually go and prove that you can work alongside other people, get some professional experience, get some commercial awareness is a massive skill. And while you're there, you can become more time efficient, you can pick up skills in problem solving, you can do all kinds of things. On top of that, it can help you to understand what you want to do, whether you want to go into a particular field. It can also help you understand if you do not want to go into a particular field, and that can be just as powerful.
Really good ways to find internships are using national job sites, things like Rate My Placement, prospects.ac.uk, Target Jobs will host internships with larger companies. There might actually be some sectors where it's much harder to find an internship, and it might just be looking for alternative types of work experience. So for teaching, for example, it's about getting in touch with a local school and seeing if you can go into the classroom for a week. If it's working in TV and radio, there might not be that many placements, but maybe it's just writing to local companies or getting in touch with people on LinkedIn to source those experiences for yourself.
When I applied for the role, I think one afternoon I was just scrolling through there was just a whole list of different internship opportunities, and one of them just said video creative intern, and I was like, oh, you know, that sounds like it's for me. My degree is obviously biomedical sciences, so you know, finding opportunities to, you know, work in something more creative, doing the photo and video that I do outside of university anyway, sort of knew I just had to sort of jump straight on it. When it came to applying, obviously I hadn't had any qualifications in photo and video, hadn't had a huge amount of, I've got experience but not necessarily in corporate photo and video work. I remember when I sent my application off, obviously, you know, always send your social media links, your Instagram, your YouTube, your Vimeo or whatever you use. And on there I'd sort of selected some of my at that point, I think it was February or March this year, some of the projects that I'd done most recently that I thought were the most professional looking pieces of work that I've done. And obviously they impressed.
For a student applying for an internship, read the job description really carefully. The employer has written it for a reason, and they are looking for those particular skills, and on your application you need to demonstrate that you have those skills. And if you don't have those skills exactly, you need to demonstrate in other areas how you've got the ability to pick things up quickly, to learn things really quickly. So spend a lot of time actually thinking about what the employer is asking in the job description, then matching your cover letter and demonstrating your skills and experience on there. So if the employer wants a yellow banana, then make sure that somewhere in your cover letter, somewhere in your CV, you've either been a yellow banana or you can turn into a yellow banana.
Anyone that's interested in applying for an internship programme, my main pieces of advice would be around doing your research. So it's really important to get to grips with the organisation, the company, find out who they are, and that goes much further than just looking at their website. Find them on social media, see if they're on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and reach out to people that work at that company on LinkedIn as well and ask them, what is it like to work there, what's the culture like. Then feed all that information you found about what makes the company special into your covering letter, because that will make you stand out. And my second big piece of advice is around tailoring. So it's really important when you're applying for internships not to just send the same CV and covering letter off to every single company. You really have to spend a lot of time on each application, so think carefully about what you want to apply for and why you're really motivated for it. Then look at the job description, so there'll be bullet points of things that the employer is looking for, and you need to try and respond to those directly across your CV and covering letter. Don't panic if you don't have every single point on that job description. Just show that you're quick to learn and maybe show some other relevant skills that could show your capacity to learn quickly on the job.
The one thing that makes for a good application, in a word, accessibility. It's a long word, but it's got to be something which people can get into easily, which they can get information out of easily, and which they can get through quickly. So a good application is accessible above all other things.
So transitioning from freelance work into working for a company in an office environment, two very different things. I'm used to, editing my videos at any time of day in my pyjamas at home. But so, moving into an office environment with a whole team around me, with a dedicated desk, emails and things, it's not completely foreign, but I think it definitely helped me focus more. There was no, I'll just pop down to the shops, or I'll just, pop to the gym, or there's definitely a real sort of, there's just a whole productive atmosphere. You're surrounded by people that are working hard around you, and you are there to work. There's no way around that. So I definitely felt more focused in an office environment, but also benefiting from just the support of the team around me, asking anyone, anything, anytime, and yeah, everybody that I've worked with are really lovely. So over the last 8 weeks, I have gained so much from this internship. Like I said before, I haven't had much experience doing corporate video work, so testing my skills in a completely different way, and also new skills as well, being able to plan videos from the start to the finish, networking with different companies, all sorts of different people. I've met recruitment companies, I've met investment companies, loads of different businesses, and also then working within the university itself, sort of just getting the opportunity to meet loads of different people, hear their stories, share their stories, and yeah, I guess it's just been a really big confidence boost, and really improved my communication skills as well.
To do an internship well, I think a university student has to have a sense of just being willing to give it a try. I think you've got to be open to new experiences if you're going to get the most out of an internship. I think you've got to be optimistic. You've got to be prepared to try things and potentially fail at them, because it could be the first time you're doing it. but you've got to go in with the sense of, I've got nothing to lose from doing this. No one is going to be putting a black note next to my name if something goes wrong with this. It is entirely for you to enjoy and for you to make the most of. So throw yourself into it. Write things down. It gets really easy to forget what happened while you were there. So at some point, take a moment to reflect, remind yourself what you did each day, what was good about it, what was bad about it maybe. Write things down. It will help you a lot in the long run when it comes time to start telling other people why it was useful to you.
I think for any students applying to the University of Manchester internship programme, or just any internship programme in general, no matter how long your internship is, whether it's 2 weeks or 6 weeks or 8 weeks or a year, just to put as much as you possibly can in, because that's how you're going to get as much as you possibly can out. Meet as many people as possible, go to as many events as possible, and just put your absolute best effort into every project, because it's only a finite amount of time, so you might as well give it your absolute everything.
So I've been working with Dani for the last 8 weeks. She has been our video creative intern. When Dani put an application in, I was really impressed with the thoroughness of her application. She was able to demonstrate a really strong portfolio of some creative work that she'd already done. So when we were shortlisting a number of applications, it was really important that she was able to provide that evidence to us as recruiting managers. So Dani joined our team for 8 weeks, and it's been an absolute pleasure having her on board with us. I can't recommend her highly enough. So if you're watching Dani's work and portfolios, then as a freelancer, as an employee, absolutely highly recommend her, and she's done a fantastic job for us at the university and also for a number of employers in Manchester. So well done, Dani.
Aww. So I didn't actually know Angie was going to say any of that. I was just stood behind the camera with this massive smile on my face. Angie was my supervisor for my internship, so big thank you to Angie and of course the rest of the careers service team for looking after me. I've had an absolutely amazing summer. I've learned so much, and 8 weeks, it felt like it flew by, but at the same time it felt like I've been there forever. What was I doing before this internship? I don't actually remember. So yeah, it's time for everything to change again, but I'm really excited for whatever comes next.